Alright, hey girls, I am here at Starbucks with the awesome Molly Hinderleiter there in the background. And we were at a really fun Starbucks in Indianapolis at the Keystone of the Crossing area. Anyway, what I wanted to do here is I actually asked Molly to give us some booking tips because she's a booking master, and I wanted to just let you know, if you feel like I'm not a booking master, I just wanted to let you know that Molly and I both have grown so much in booking from when we were new consultants. It takes, like, I would say for me, it took a good year to really get it and to feel like I mastered the skill. And I feel confident with it and not quite as nervous. And I remember working a lot with Molly on her words and on her just courage and all those things. So I asked her to give us some tips of what she does to kind of gain some courage and just make those phone calls. So I hope that's really helpful. And the one tip that I have before I turn it over to her is one thing that I like to do just to kind of get me in the mood to make booking calls is I like to kind of treat myself by doing something fun, either after I'm done with booking calls or while I'm doing the call. So that's one reason why I like to come to Starbucks and get my mocha or my pumpkin latte or whatever it is and do something that's going to be like, okay, I don't feel like making the phone calls, but I do feel like going to Starbucks and getting a really fun latte and being in a fun Starbucks in the environment that I like, and that just kind of gets me a little bit more excited to go and make those phone calls. It's just being in a good environment and treating myself to something along the way. So that is my tip, is just to do something that feels a little bit more fun, and then that'll get you into the zone of making those phone calls. And I'm going to turn it over for a booking tip for Molly.
So I have a few tips for you. So my first tip, whenever I get started with doing booking phone calls, there are times, obviously, where I don't feel excited about making the phone calls, so I'll think to myself, I'm going to start by just making 5 phone calls. So if I make 5 phone calls, at least I'm continuing that consistency. And then usually when I get into the rhythm, I get excited about it and I keep going for it. And then another thing that I usually think about is, in general, just being excited about what the bookings are going to do. Like, okay, I'm going to have fun with these girls, I'm going to make some extra money, it's going to be no big deal. And so when I have that thought in my head, I'm not thinking about, worried about overcoming objections, worrying about, is she going to answer, is she not going to answer. And so I just literally focus on one call after the other. I don't overthink the process.
All right, here's Molly, and she's going to give us an example of how she sounds when she makes booking phone calls. And first of all, she has her referral deserted island list. She has, you have your script.
No, I haven't.
You have it memorized. Yeah, she has her date book, and I noticed also she has it like marked out to when she knows she can do it. She has it marked out through the month. So you're all prepared, Molly, and go ahead and share with us what you kind of say when you're calling a referral.
Okay, so I start off by saying, hi Jan, this is Molly with Mary Kay. We don't actually know each other, but we have a mutual friend in Megan. And then I ask her if she has a quick minute to chat, because if she's busy, she's obviously not going to want me to keep talking. If she's not busy, she's ready for it. So then I let her know that we have that mutual friend and we just recently got together. And at that pampering time that we got together at, her friend was able to pass on a free Mary Kay facial, a makeover, and a gift card. And at that point, I want to give kind of like a transition, and so I ask her, has she ever had a Mary Kay facial before? Sometimes they say yes, usually they'll say no to me. So then I just say, oh my gosh, they're so much fun. And then I start by giving her the dates that I actually get together during my pampering times, because I always want to block off a time that I'm going to work. That way I'm not just working like crazy. Not that it's bad to work like crazy, but I've set boundaries for myself. And I just kind of go into it. We set a date and a time. I give her 2 options, the date and the time, so we can narrow it down to something. And then I basically just let her know what it's going to be like. And I actually do something slightly different. I let her know that I'm going to send her a text so she can respond with her information. That's just how I do it. You don't have to do it that way. And then I let her know I'm going to give her a confirmation phone call the next day. and then we'll just take it from there. I try to keep it as simple as possible so I don't overwhelm her with information, understanding that I'm probably going to have to repeat some things to make sure that she knows what's going to happen so she feels informed. And that's it, basically.
All right, great.